Today I will be completing the May 2023 SAT. To begin, we're doing the reading section, and this first video is going to cover passages 1 to 2. This passage, Leda is traveling Italy to live with her new husband Dante. It is 19. Okay, let's read now. So they were bored as they were leaving. Okay. These people were bored. That's what you should take out of that. So, this paragraph is just talking about like her analysis of like the people at the ship. The land is beautiful. She was starved for the sight of land, not just any land, but this land, Buenos Aires. Her new home, many hours alone, so she needed comfort. Standing on it and was trying to just picture this. Garden, where Dante, her husband, had taken a photograph. It had been okay. Clucks of admiration and amusement. Kind of like okay, this is just a humorous tone and conversation. Just straight. Dante stood surrounded by strange furniture. Seemed intensely alive. I own this place. His posture seemed to say, of course, that's just because that was the place where he'd found a photographer to take his portrait. Didn't mean the whole city looked that way. She knew this. Or at least part of her knew this. But the image looked. So this is just saying that the picture kind of showed that kind of he was in knowledge and like aware of like what the place had to offer, but she's saying okay, that's only because he was there and how he was presented to be in the photo, and she knows that there's so much more to come in in Argentina. Because the hat is important, fit for a bride, would be unbearable. She reached up and gripped it with both hands. It was kind of symbolic. Throwing around her seemed to melt away. It surely did for everyone else. 360 Italians, all wandering their own private visions of Argentina. So kind of they were just, all of these people in the ship, they were kind of just like, just focusing toward one thing in their private visions of the land. So builders, they would at least find something, a true place that might show them what they'd written across the open. The Americas were more than some fable. So she knew kind of that they would find something true than what the fables of, kind of what the fables said about how it would be. Argentina, mystery. Okay, list of. Okay. Passage indicates that part of the journey from Naples to Venice had been hazardous. No, there was nothing dangerous. Tedious, yes. Right here. Tedious means boredom. Boredom. That's the word everyone. Crawling. That's boredom. Number 2. As usually line 12, wove. Again and again they said as a repetition would solidify the truth of the same phrase, making it strong enough to sustain them as they disembarked. Their voices traveled, connected through the wails and murmurs, connected, traveled, formed It's not invented and it's not folded. Their voices formed. Do we want to say formed? Again, it says making it strong enough to sustain as they disembark. Their voices form through the whales. How can the voices form? That doesn't make sense. Through the whale intermingle. That's better. They kind of connected together. That's what intermingle means. Like I said earlier. It's not form. Form, that doesn't make sense if they're traveling and they form together. It doesn't. They intermingle, not form. Based on the passage in which Saint describes Lita's attitude about moving to Argentina. Well, she's kind of happy about it, isn't that? She can't wait to get there. That's what it's been saying the whole. It's like, let's see. I underlined it. She was starved for the sight of land, right here. So she kind of knew. She wants to be there. Leda longs to arrive in a new country, even though she has little concept of it. Yes, this is true. Because look, she longs to go there, but she was starved, and then she didn't know how it would look like, Argentina. She tried to picture the city, but her mind's eye could control only the tropical ferns and trees. So that kind of shows that how she had little concept of what awaits her. She's not starting a new life. No, wait, she is, but even though she will miss her family. Okay, that's wrong. Nita's initially curious about it. Not curious. Not searching. Which is the photograph of Dante prompts Leda to consider his mindset. So the photograph of him prompts Leda to consider how he thinks. Okay. 17 to 19. This is not how he thinks. This is how she think. Leda think. This is Leda. 19 to 20. It doesn't show anything about how he thinks again. 29 to 31. No fighting today. Again. Wait, so is it D? 1 second. Let's see. 34 to 35. I own this place, his posture seemed to say. Found his mouth curved into the smoke. Wait. Found his mouth. Yeah, that's D. It has to be. To consider which prompt is a photograph of Dante prompts Leda to consider how he thinks. Yeah, and it was this. I own this place. His posture seemed to say. Of course, she knew this, at least a part of her. So she kind of was thinking about how Dante was and how he presented himself in that photo, and how the way he presented himself was like he owned the place. So it's D. Using line 37 glowed, but the image still glowed, was it like is visible in her mind, was kind of still there. Remain vivid, yeah. It was picturesque. Provided light. The phrase in parentheses, 43 to 44. Let's see. Okay, right here. The throng around her seemed to melt away. Good for everyone out there, and all wondering their own private visions of Argentina in their mind. So kind of they had a kind of like focus for what they wanted. They were kind of like similar to the narrator. They all had like a purpose. To emphasize the similarities, Leda's initial emphasize the similarities between Leda's initial impressions of Argentina and those of the other. Convey the passage going. No, it's not growing confidence. Highlight Argentina represents something unique. Yeah, I think it is this one. No, that feels disconnected. I mean, no, they were connected. They just had their own idea of it in their mind. Emphasize the similarities between her initial impressions of Argentina. Well, they didn't talk about their impressions. They talk about what they had their own visions. So, let's see. Passage more strongly shares the latest distant view of the buildings. Okay, that was right here. It was right here. Where was that? I know I found it. I remember reading it. The buildings were so small that she could not discern anything above them, except of course that they existed. They would find something, a true place. Okay, so this is the most important part. The true place, that they would find something real. Passing when the letters awakens her excitement at finally having fulfilled. No, it's not finally. Reinforces her sense of ignorance. Maybe ignites her determination to help. Okay, what business? Underscores her disappointment. There's no disappointment. She's and she is ignorant, right? There is no disappointment. She's looking forward. Her sense of ignorance about the realities of her life, because that is true, because they would at least find out that the Americas were more than some fable concocted by and calibrated, even if seeing that the Americas exist does not at all reveal the true mystery. So she's kind of ignorant about what is to come. According to the passage, the accounts often told about the Americas are... So, what are the accounts? That they were some fable concocted by ship lines and ticket agents and relatives with their carefully calibrated letters home. That's what the accounts told, that they are. So the Americas. So okay, look, it's a contradiction that the Americas were more than some people. So this is a negative that the narrator is presenting it as. So something negative. The answer has to be negative. Healing, instructive. No, those are both positive. Misleading, because the accounts present travelers with a portrayal that is not necessarily accurate. That sounds good. Discouraging, because the accounts suggest a degree of adjustment. What? Never talked about that. It was not about the adjustment. A portrayal. Yeah, it was the portrayal of. It does not at all reveal the true mystery. That's the portrayal of. Let's try to see. That can really be inferred from the passage that for later the garden. Now, they mentioned the garden. They mentioned it here, right? And they mentioned it here, the garden with Dante, strolling past exotic furniture, sleeping curled together beneath them as they might let the wings. So comfort. Picture yourself in comfort in the garden. A reassuring comfort in the face of an uncertain future. That's true. A revealing indication of the amenities? What? Definitely not. An unexpected confirmation that her hopes for new life. A confirmation, but how does she know that? She doesn't know what there is to come yet. A daydream in a certain future, yeah. An impressive sign of her husband's achievements in Argentina. No. Okay, which choice? It could have been the end, actually, yeah. Right? She pictured herself. She pictured herself. I think it's D. Wait, let's check the other choice. 32 to 34. Photograph and is this the garden though? 32. Not photograph. This is the photograph. Okay. So the problem with this is, sorry, this is the photograph. This is not the garden. I mean, it could be, but it kind of doesn't emphasize that she kind of daydreamed. So kind of like pictured it. It's not, she didn't picture anything. This is just showing what she saw in the photograph. So that's wrong. And then 35 to 36 is wrong also, because that's right here. Again, the photo, it's talking about the photo. And then for 36 to 37, again, that's wrong, I think, again. She knew this, yeah, it's still the picture is the end. And that's because, again, she pictured herself. That was it for the first passage. Now we move on to the second passage. The age of social media is open up exciting opportunities to escape people's emotional states. Okay, blah blah blah. This passive paragraph is not important, just showing that social media has opened up opportunities for us to analyze emotional states. The premise of it is that word choices reflect our psychological states. Someone uses positive or negative, it is good that they are. So kind of words reflect our psychological state. If we say something negative, we're in a negative emotional state. But now, okay. Now, understand that for spoken language, this assumption might not. So this might not be true. Okay, so it's being countered. Do not, in fact. Okay. Some team asked 185 Americans who were recording every night 4 times per day. Participants also via text message measuring the positive and negative emotions they had experienced over the previous hour. So they kind of do it 4 times to see the accuracy. That's what you should get out of that. The team ended up with a whopping 151 reason reading out clips which contained no speech or just a few words. They then scored each recording according to how many positive and contained like straight running to the text or announce program, linguistic inquiry, word count, blah blah blah. Finally, the team average. So they kind of got these positive and negative words, and they put it through a program to show like how it can be associated with different topics. Okay, the researchers found this paragraph, I bet, will be really important. Contrary to the assumptions of some past studies, the number of positive and negative not associated. So they did not associate with mood. Our findings suggest that researchers should not assume that fluctuations in, so differences in, can be used as a proxy for subjective emotion, at least for spoken language. Okay, so it's saying that the research, they should not kind of take it and view it as something else for what it is. I guess the researchers that would do more studies in the future. The recordings did contain some emotions. The researchers, the assistance assessment associated with parts of the rating of their own mood. The research says that human raters were picking up on nonverbal things like intonation and volume that the program itself was missing. So maybe the program could be a criticism of it. The program didn't have it. Explaining other than whether we found greater words related to social like you or we was associated with experiencing more positive emotion, while you had. However, these associations were weak, so may not be useful measures of emotion, say the authors. There are other possible expressions for the null results. Understanding which the authors acknowledge could be that a person's use of emotion-related words taps into an aspect of emotion that is also, so it cannot, something that is maybe not captured. But alternatively, the dictionaries themselves may not always reflect on it. So there are problems could be used in it. Okay, it's pretty terrible. Okay. The main purpose of the passage is to present findings that weaken the popular theory that social media usage is not about the emotional vocabularies. No. Summarize an experiment is about the mood. Summarize and investigate a hypothesis about how language usage affects. Yeah, I think this is correct. Describe research that challenges an assumption underlying studies about. Describe research that challenges. This is good too. Discuss a study that incorporates the use of some novel tools. Novel, I don't think. Yeah, no. Summarize an experiment intended to investigate a hypothesis about how language. Describe research. I think this is better. Okay, it's an experiment or it's research. Let's see. Okay, the researchers found that. So they didn't talk about the study. They didn't talk about. Oh no, they. Right here they describe how they did it. Shoot. Describe research. I think this is better. Instead of saying summarize an experiment, I think research is better. What they found in their research. That was the purpose. I think it's C. If I'm wrong, it is what it is. So this is a hard problem for 11. Based on battle finding which would most strongly support the reliability of the method. Okay, let's use the lines for this one. So is there anything wrong here? The premise of this line of research is that our word choices reflect our psychological states. That if someone uses more positive, this is a good thing. This is just showing what kind of led to their research. It doesn't show anything. They didn't do any experiment yet or any research. 7 to 8. But the new studies, the assumption might, yeah, but again, it doesn't show what could help to strengthen their findings. The reliability of the method. There's no method yet. That's what I'm saying. 11 to 12. Some teams asked 185 American units to wear a recording device for a week, which recorded a 30-second snippet of sound. Okay, 4 times a day. This was the accuracy thing I said. So, which recorded a 30-second snippet of sound every 9.5 minutes, 4 times per day. So kind of the times they did it. Let's look at choice D, 12 to 14. 4 times. Oh, wait a second. Oh my God, it did this. 11 to 12, 12 to 4. Okay. Sun's events were recording now, which recorded a 30-second snippet of sound every 5. If I would have to say, this 12 to 14 gives more than this. This is just saying that they asked students to wear a recording device, which will record a 30-second snippet every 9.5 minutes, whatever. 4 times. This is the more important part. 4 times per day, the participants also completed a survey via text message. So has to do related with the text messages. I think it's D, but let's see. People tend to explicitly describe their emotional states less frequently than every 9.5 minutes. I don't think so. People tend to retain fairly accurate memories of their emotional states for several. I think it's this one. Because 12 to 14. Remember how they did it 4 times for it to be accurate? The participants also completed a survey measuring they had experienced over the previous hour. So they would kind of remember what they the text messages, what they said. Yeah, which recorded a 30-second snippet of sound every 4 times per day. The participants also completed a survey measuring the positive. Yeah, I think it's that one. Then to retain fairly accurate memories of their emotional state. Yeah. If they remembered, yeah. People tend to report positive being of greater degree. Okay, this had no. It didn't show that positive had more. have more time. People tend to be more accurate. Okay, no, it's not about evaluating friends. And then this one, people tend to explicitly describe their emotional states less frequently. What was the point of time? It didn't matter. They just did it recorded 30 every 9.5. It didn't matter. It's every 9.5 minutes. So the less time would be actually worse. A student raised about that a single clip containing an unusually high number of emotional words could have an influence on. So okay, they accounted. So they accounted for the fact that a single clip could have a high number of words. They accounted for the fact that a single clip could have a high number of words. Reading out clips which contain no speech. That's a little. We want a lot. So that does make sense. It's not a 16 to 19. We want something that it covered for it. It's like the. No, it doesn't show anything about. They kind of accounted for the high number of emotional words that can have an effect on their studies. 19 to 22. Finally, the team averaged the scores. Okay, they averaged the scores for all clips from the same, ending up with that could directly. Okay, because again they averaged the scores. That means even one score or whatever, they took it up and bunched it up with the other scores and provided a single kind of score. So that makes sense. They averaged it. I think it's C. 23 to 24. No. That has nothing to do with the counting for the high number of emotional words. One important function of the quotation from the team studying 24 to 26. Let's see. Our findings suggest that researchers should not assume that fluctuations in the use of words can be used as a proxy. So researchers should not assume that the differences can be used as a kind of proxy, used as a proxy. An example for subjective emotion. Okay. To suggest how the study's conclusions could influence the design of future studies. No, I don't think it's A. Acknowledge that additional research. Okay, they didn't acknowledge additional research. Emphasize that the study qualifies. It didn't emphasize that they qualifies. Just shows they don't want to kind of, how do I explain this? They don't want to lead them to an unwarranted inference. Kind of rule out a potential criticism about how the study was carried out. Is it? I mean, the problem I see here is the study was carried out. It never talked about how it was carried out. It talked about their findings. I don't think it's D. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. So time out. I know it's not C and B for sure, so that means it must be A then. Okay, 1 second. Let's read this. Suggest how the study's conclusions could influence the design. It suggests how the study's conclusions, so their findings, okay, that's good, could influence, so how their findings could influence the designs of future studies. Researchers, so the people in the future, like I said, should not assume that fluctuations. So kind of the researchers that look at this data, they should not assume that blah blah blah, and that will influence their studies, future studies. Wow, that's a really, really hard problem. Wow. Based on the passage, such team would most likely agree. I bet a lot of people chose this. One limitation of using transcriptions of speech. Oh, the problem of using the speech is that it didn't count for the other. It was right here. it was missing intonation and volume. It was missing. They didn't capture the self-report questionnaire, so they kind of missed. Descriptions are prone to erroneous represent. No, it's not the erroneous representation. It's that they don't account for the other stuff that may most of them are typically not. No, information about speaking difficult for readers to comprehend. No, I think it's C for this one. Yeah, do not represent. Yeah, I think it's C. According to Bachelor's, found that the associations they detected between emotional states and certain groups of non-emotional. So, emotional states and non-emotional words. Emotional states and non-emotional words. You or we. So these are non-emotional, like minus a number. These associations were weak, so they were weak. Not strong enough. Not strong enough to simply treat those words. Yeah, I think it's A. Not widespread. It's not by widespread. So weak that emotional words are preferable measure. No, we can't say that. Social energy. No, it's not about making errors. It's using 939 captured. It could be that also isn't captured. That isn't captured, accounted for. That's what it is. No, recorded. Yeah. Information pattern. The results shown in Figure 1 might be due to Part 1. Dude, the results. Okay. So positive change. So it's greater than negative. So this means that the self-reported amount. So one might report that they are. So 4, which means that they are in the middle of some and a lot. Then that's their self-reported amount of positive emotion. How much worse? Okay. And then the change. So what change they may say and what may comes out to be is different than what they thought it would be. So it might be due in part to human raters detecting changes. No, I think it's that participants unconsciously altering their word choices as a result of knowing their. No, classification of some words as positive or negative, not accurately indicating. I think it's this one. I think it's C. What is related to socializing being more likely? It's not socializing, definitely not. Yeah, I think it was that. Each individual's self-reported amount of emotional change is a self-reported, and that also isn't captured. Yeah, right. That they weren't captured, and they may not always reflect how people use words. Yeah. Let's see. According to Figure 2, when the change in human raters assessment state was 1, the average reported was let's see. Wait, I got distracted. When the change in human raters assessment, the average self-reported amount of positive. So when it was 1, what was positive? When 1 was 1, what was positive? 1, 4. So it was, yeah, D. Both figures support which statement about participants in the study. They reported greater amounts of positive than negative. They reported greater amounts of positive. Yeah, that's true. Both. Right here. That's true. That is A. That was the easiest one. The hardest one was definitely number 15. That was an incredible problem. This one. Wow. I would have got that wrong on the real if I would just, yeah. I got that wrong for sure. It's really, really tricky. And the way I knew it was that this part took the whole, kind of ruled out the answer. This carried out, because it was about their findings. It's not about how they conducted the study. And we are done for the first video. The next videos will be the rest of these passages, and then the following videos will be the math, the writing in language, and then the math, and then the math calculator. Okay.